Have you ever noticed, especially when you focus on the Ajna Chakra between your two arms, that you have experienced something amazing? Many people see blue, violet, milky white, or sometimes golden light beams while meditating on this place. These experiences fascinate, but also raise many questions. After all, what are these mysterious lights? Is it a sign of some divine power? Or is it a chemical reaction of our brain? Is there a deeper meaning to these different colors from a spiritual point of view? What do our ancient scriptures and modern science say about this amazing experience? And what has the great guru of yoga, Paramahansa Yogananda, shed light on the experience of these divine lights? In today's special segment, we will go deep into these questions. Based on the experiences of great yogis and scientists, we will unveil these mysteries. And yes, at the end of the video, I will also tell you a very simple and powerful way to focus on the Ajna Chakra, which will prove to be very beneficial for the seekers who start meditation in a special way. So stay with me. Think about it. Our eyes, our ears, our senses are busy with the attractions of the outside world all day, isn't it? But what happens when a seeker takes his wandering gaze from the outside world and takes it to the peaceful depths of the inner world? This is where the real journey begins. As soon as you remove your consciousness from the outer world and settle it inside yourself, a wonderful door to self-realization slowly opens up. It is such a truth, such a life experience that can only be felt. It is almost impossible to describe it in words. The great yogi Paramahansa Yogananda has explained the importance of this state in very precise words. He says that your meditation, your spiritual journey, actually begins when your consciousness is completely focused and stable on the Ajna Chakra. And do you know what is the first sign of this stability? At that moment, the seeker experiences a divine light, which is called Jyoti Darshan in our scriptures. This is the first proof of that inner awakening. Now the question arises that this Jyoti or light that is visible, does it appear to us with our physical eyes? Or is it just an imagination of our mind? Absolutely not. It is very important to understand that this divine Jyoti is neither the subject of these external eyes, nor is it just an illusion or shadow arising in the mind. It is the inner vision, an inner experience, which appears only when certain special conditions are met. When the seeker's mind is pure and pure, when the flow of life energy in the body is balanced and in equilibrium, and when the Ajna Chakra is completely fixed without any distraction. Therefore, do not make the mistake of considering it a mental illusion or imagination. It is actually that supreme power, the first clear indication of that illusion, which has been sitting inside us since time immemorial. It is just quietly waiting for us to turn towards it. Paramahansa Yoganandaji has given a very precise word for this experience: internal vision. This is that special vision that begins to see the glory of God beyond the physical eyes in the form of light. Yoganandaji says that when the seeker's consciousness stops wandering and reaches the door of worldliness, then he experiences this divine light from within. And yes, this light can be seen in different forms by different seekers. Sometimes it appears like a calm old man of deep blue color. Sometimes it shines with a golden aura. And sometimes it shines like a bright white dot in the midst of deep darkness. But remember, it is not just a colorful light. It is a symbol of your consciousness moving towards the essence of the self. This is a clear indication that your meditation is no longer limited to books or talks. In fact, you have taken the first step in the true journey of the soul, and you know this experience is not limited to only modern yogis or seekers. Our ancient and supreme texts, Vedas and Upanishads, also declare this truth. They clearly state Jyotirmaya Purusha. It means that the consciousness, the supreme Brahman, of which we are a part, its true form is light. So understand, when a seeker goes into deep meditation and sees that divine light on his Ajna Chakra, he is not actually imagining it. Rather, he is taking the first and most important step towards the truth, towards his true form. He is taking the most important step. Do not mistake this for any kind of delusion or mental delusion. This is a pure, unrealistic, divine experience, which every true and dedicated seeker definitely attains sometime or the other in his journey. And this is that miraculous moment. This is the moment when your inner eye, your inner vision, opens up in the right dimensions, With this experience, the seeker begins to realize clearly that he is not just the body, mind, or intellect of this hard mass. Rather, I am a luminous form of power, a kind of conscious energy which has been trying for many lifetimes to become one with that supreme divine light. This is a decisive turn in the direction of self-realization. So let's go straight to the question that arises in the mind of every seeker. After all, what is this light that can be seen in meditation? When you go deep into meditation, by removing the mind from the external world, you bring your full concentration to the Ajna Chakra with a calm feeling. Then often a unique light is experienced inside. Please pay attention. This is not an ordinary light of a bulb or tube light, and neither is it a blank imagination or flight of our mind. This divine experience is called Jyoti Darshan in the yoga tradition. This is a very deep and important spiritual experience, which is described repeatedly in our yoga shastras and even Upanishads. Paramahansa Yogananda makes it even clearer. He says that when a seeker leaves external distractions and takes his consciousness to the door of the supreme element through meditation, it is as if a response comes from God, an answer. And that answer appears in the form of this divine light. This light is neither like the brightness of the sun, nor like the coolness of the moon, nor like the fire of fire. This is a subtle divine indication of the presence of that supreme power, which tells us that God or Brahma is within us, and we have now come very close to experiencing it through meditation. When meditation reaches its peak and the seeker attains complete stability, then this inner spiritual center between the Trikuti Kshetra, i.e., between the two limbs, lights up with a mysterious, unrealistic light. You pick up the Shiva Sanhita or study the Yoga Shikha Upanishad. Many ancient yoga texts describe this experience clearly. Some say it is a dot, some say it is a light, some say it is a ray. Maharshi Patanjali also points out in his Yoga Sutras that when meditation progresses on the right path, then the seeker gets a glimpse of the supreme consciousness in the form of a divine light. So understand this with full determination. This is not a mental illusion or an illusion of the eyes. This is a 100% pure and true experience seen through our subtle inner vision, which is a proof of your spiritual progress. Paramahansa Yogananda Ji does not consider this Jyoti Darshan to be just an experience. Rather, he gives it a very special indication. Think as if God himself is telling you, yes, you are on the right path. Just keep your attention deeper and deeper. This is a divine assurance. And as we discussed earlier, the appearance of this Jyoti can be different for different seekers. Paramahansa Ji often describes that it can sometimes look like a deep blue circle with a golden halo around it in a very bright white dot or star in the center. Sometimes this seeker can even feel it as a calm, stable light, a light that is not outside, but within us, self-illuminating without oil or embers. When this Jyoti Darshan happens, it gives a deep peace and feeling to the seeker's soul that yes, now he is closer and closer to God, to his ultimate goal. This is the important point, the stage where the seeker feels the outside world is weak, and he starts pulling inward as if some invisible, loving force is pulling him towards itself. This is the decisive moment when your spiritual practice opens the door to Jyoti Darshan. That is, now you are no longer just a meditator who closes his eyes and meditates, but you become a real experiencer of that inner truth, that divine light. Now let's move on to another deep question about the scientific secrecy of the different jyotis seen in meditation. When a seeker goes into the depths of meditation and his consciousness completely settles on the Ajna Chakra, then the divine light that appears there is not just a colorful light. It is actually a reflection of that seeker's inner spiritual state, a reflection of his spiritual state, a glimpse. Paramahansa Yogananda Ji clearly states that these different jyotis seen in meditation are not just colors, but are clear indications of the important stages of our spiritual journey. So now the natural question arises, why do we only see blue, gold, white, or other types of jyotis? And what is the spiritual meaning of these different colors? Fortunately, our ancient yoga shastras give a clear answer to this. For example, there is a shloka in the Shiv Samhita Granth. In the silence of the Devada Shanta, there it means that when a seeker controls his life and takes his consciousness to a very deep center in his mind, which is called the Dwadashan, Then he experiences a Jyoti like a calm, stable lamp. Other yoga shastras explain this experience in more detail. The blue Jyoti often indicates that the seeker's consciousness is now touching the inner peace and depth. The appearance of a golden light indicates that the spiritual practice is now moving in the right direction. It is moving towards divinity. This is considered to be the experience of the presence of divine energy. And the experience of white light indicates that the seeker is now very close to that supreme consciousness, that supreme Brahman, or is about to reach. Through these colors, an aware seeker can understand at what level his spiritual practice is and in which direction it is progressing. It is not just an object to be seen, but it works like an inner guidance, which silently tells him what to do next, how to deepen his meditation further. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika also describes that when a seeker enters this deep center between the Trikiti Kshetra, i.e., between the two arms, then he can see many types of lights. Sometimes it can be as cool and calm as the moon, sometimes it can be as bright as the sun, and sometimes it can be as momentary as the beam of light. These are all indicators of different depths and states of meditation. Paramahansa Yogananda ji, putting more light on this, says that if a seeker is experiencing blue light again and again, then he should understand that his mind is becoming calm. The mind is becoming calm. This is the beginning of the awakening of the subtle energy of the soul. And if this blue light starts to gradually turn into a golden color, then it means that the seeker is getting closer to the presence of Brahma, to the closeness of God. Therefore, for an aware seeker, this is not just a game of colorful light, but it is a clear confirmation of the steps on the path of self-realization. It is a certification. And yes, it is very important for every seeker to know this. Because when a seeker finds his inner experiences associated with the evidences of the scriptures, then his self-confidence increases manifold. Then he becomes sure that the path he is walking on is the right one. His practice is not to shoot an arrow in the dark, but it is a clear, authentic, and experiential path. So now we come to the mystery that when a seeker concentrates his attention on the Ajna Chakra with full faith and concentration, then why does this divine light appear there? What is the reason for this? First of all, let's understand what this Ajna Chakra is. It is known by many names like Trikuti, Divya Netra, Shiv Netra, or Guru Chakra. It is a very important subtle energy center located just between our two arms, which is also considered to be the gateway to the Brahmarandra, i.e. Sahasrara Chakra. As soon as you concentrate here, your consciousness moves away from the noise of the outside world and flows towards the inner peace and tranquility. Look at the glory of this place. Lord Shiva clearly announces, Trikutiya Stita Madhyam, Yapasheta Jyotirakritim, Sajivan Mukta Evashat. It simply means that the fortunate seeker who sees the divine light located in this Trikuti, i.e. Ajna Chakra, experiences liberation while living in this life. So the question is, why does this light appear? Consider its scientific and spiritual reason. When the seeker concentrates his mind, soul, and consciousness on the Ajna Chakra at the same time through meditation, then a powerful center of energy is established at that point. This is the same powerful spiritual energy, which is also known as Kundalini Shakti, which is awakened from the Muladhara Chakra and flows upwards through the subtle strings. As soon as this conscious energy reaches the sensitive point of the Ajna Chakra with full power, there is a kind of internal explosion. Just as when two wires of electricity are properly connected, spark or light is generated. In the same way, a divine light bursts on this Ajna Chakra inside the seeker. But remember, this light that appears in meditation is not the ultimate goal in itself. This is just the first clear glimpse of that divine journey, the first stage from where the soul slowly starts moving towards its divine source. Therefore, when a seeker sees this light, he should immediately understand that his path is absolutely right. He is moving forward in the direction of true meditation. Now his mind and consciousness are ready to move. This is a clear indication that the soul has started moving towards its true form. Paramahansa Yogananda Ji calls this light that appears in the Ajna Chakra as divine vibration. He says that this is the important point where the soul sees the door of Brahma for the first time and gets its realization. And the seeker does not get this experience just as a glimpse, but it appears as a deep inner experience. This is not an ordinary light, but it is the radiance of the basic consciousness of our existence, the radiance of that Atma Tattva about which we have been reading or listening. But now that same light begins to manifest itself in meditation. From the point of view of the scriptures, the importance of the Ajna Chakra is also insignificant, because this is where our three main streams of life energy, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, meet. Like Prayagraj, this subtle Triveni of the body is considered to be the most vigorous and powerful center of energy. When the mind of the seeker stays in this place, his consciousness rises above the boundaries of the physical body and the physical world, and first reaches the levels of the subtle world, and then reaches the levels of the physical world. And as the consciousness enters these deep inner levels, this divine light appears more and more clearly. This light can neither be seen with our external eyes, nor can it be fully understood by our intellectual mind. It is seen with the divine eye, which is called the Atmic vision or the divine eye. And when the Atmic vision or the divine eye is awakened, this is when the true journey of meditation begins in reality. Paramahansa Yogananda ji says, when a seeker concentrates his attention on the Ajna Chakra with full concentration, and his mind moves away from the external world and gradually reaches the subtle state, then his spiritual vision, which we also call the third eye in simple language, becomes active. And with this divine vision, he sees a divine light or Jyoti. Not only this, the great-grandfather of yoga, Maharishi Patanjali, has also given a direct indication of this in his Yoga Sutras. This clearly means that when light appears during meditation, then this is a proof of the deep and successful state of meditation. Now see how amazing it is that today's science, especially neuroscience, is also moving towards understanding the truth of this ancient knowledge. Scientific studies have shown that when a person meditates deeply and his mind is fixed on this third eye or Ajna Chakra, then special types of powerful waves are generated in the brain, which are called gamma waves. It is believed that these waves cross the boundaries of our ordinary consciousness and awaken the subtle centers of energy within us, especially the pineal gland. And the interesting thing is that many modern scientists also consider this small gland to be mysterious and call it the divine gland. And see, Yogananda ji had told this decades ago. When meditation is done with the right method and deep devotion, then divine light appears through the pineal gland. It seems as if ancient yoga science and modern neuroscience are pointing towards the same truth. In our scriptures, the vision that makes this experience possible is called the divine eye. Remember in the Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Krishna shows Arjuna his divine form, what does he say? Divyam Dadamai Chakshu means, O Arjuna, I give you that divine vision through which you can see my divine form. It is clear from this that this experience is beyond the ordinary eyes or imagination. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that this divine light that appears in meditation is not just a mental imagination. When the mind, intellect, and ego of the seeker are fully focused on one point, then a new higher consciousness is born. And in this awakened consciousness, the soul itself sees its divine form and experiences that divine inner light. So far, we have learned what is the divine light that appears in meditation, what is its importance, and why sages and scriptures consider it necessary for self-realization. Now let us come to the most practical and important question. How can we meditate to experience this divine light and to awaken the Ajna Chakra? The great yogi Paramahansa Yogananda practiced and taught many methods of meditation based on his deep experience and meditation. But he considered one of the methods to be the most powerful, effective, and straightforward, and that is the meditation centered on the Ajna Chakra. Yes, this is the place, this divine center right in the middle of both our limbs, where the center of our soul and God is formed, a bridge is established. This is where the exciting journey of Jyoti Darshan begins, and this is where the path to self-realization opens up. Our scriptures clearly call the Ajna Chakra the door of divine knowledge. In the ancient yogic text Shiva Samhita, we find its direct instruction, i.e., when a seeker settles his sight and mind completely in the middle of both the limbs, that is when the real and deep meditation begins. And this deep and powerful meditation has been explained by Paramahansa Yogananda in 3 simple and straightforward steps. If you are ready, then let's understand these steps carefully and try to implement them in our lives. Step 1. Stable body, peaceful mind. First of all, choose a place where there is peace, where no one bothers you for the next few minutes. Sit comfortably. You can sit on the floor in Sukhasana, Siddhasana, or Padmasana. Or if it is difficult to sit down, you can sit on a chair. Just keep one thing in mind. Keep your spine straight. Keep your neck and head straight. Keep your body stable. Stop moving. Close your eyes gently. Now take 2 to 3 deep, calm breaths. Feel with every breath that you are slowly moving away and entering the inner peace. Let the mind be calm and peaceful. Step 2. Focus on the Ajna Chakra. When the body is stable and the mind is calm, then take your mental focus to the center of your body, i.e., right in the middle of both arms, which we call the Ajna Chakra or the third eye. Just keep your full consciousness there. In the beginning, you may see only darkness or maybe some foggy, wavering light. Do not panic. Do not be disappointed. This is absolutely normal. Be patient and practice regularly. Gradually, with constant practice, you will start to see a bright, stable, round light or point of light clearly. Paramahansa Yogananda says that this is the first divine glimpse of your soul, which is also called Kutastha. Step 3. Immerse yourself in the light. When you start to see that light, you just have to keep looking at it without any tension, effort, or thought. As if you are looking at a beautiful star from a distance. No discussion, no question. Just be a witness of that light. You will find that as you keep looking at it, your attention will start to dissolve in that light. You will start to lean. You will slowly immerse yourself in that light, and then a deep experience will arise from within. I am not a body made of these 5 elements. I am this infinite, peaceful, blissful light. Yoganandaji clearly assures us that a seeker who meditates on the Ajna Chakra regularly gradually starts to experience himself not as a destroyed, limited body, but as an infinite, indestructible light. It is very important to understand that this meditation is not just a game of mental exercise or imagination. It is a scientific process to awaken the soul directly. By practicing this meditation, a seeker becomes a witness of his Sadguru, his inner Guru Tattva, which gives him the right guidance. This is why this meditation is also called the heart of initiation. This is where you start to establish a true, direct, and divine relationship with God. Another important sutra of our scriptures points towards this situation. Yatra, yatra, mano, yati, tatra, tatra, samadaya. That is, wherever or at any point the mind becomes completely focused and stable, the state of samadhi begins to manifest. And the Ajna Chakra is that ultimate divine point where our ever-wandering mind finds complete rest and becomes stable. That is why meditating on the Ajna Chakra is not a simple technique of meditation. This is the golden path on which the soul enters its own Jyoti Swarup, experiences the true, formless form of God, and ultimately becomes engrossed in that ultimate, eternal light. That is all for today's divine discussion. How did you like this video? Do share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this information useful, then share it with your loved ones so that more and more people can benefit from this knowledge. And if you are new to our channel, then don't forget to subscribe so that you can stay connected with such inspiring topics. See you in the next video. Thank you.